building, where because you have collected A, you want to look for expenditure to utilize that A. Treasury must initiate at this process, taking care of the current situation you are in. You must initiate changes in law. I know it's our work, but also you know what to do as the National Treasury. We open up the fund of tourism. We open up a sports fund. We open up all the other funds, including the one for as much they are also answers, their questions, because you also want to be a part of the solution. And in that regard, you realize Kenya being the informal economy it is, I mean, a lot of activities happening informally. Then there is a lot of levies and fees to collect beyond the taxes in terms of targets. And we have noted one thing that is very peculiar, which the National Treasury should take note of. Now that there is a squeeze in terms of exchequer, almost all the other departmental committees with sagas below them, all of them are requesting for enhancement of A&A. Enhancement of A&A meaning they are just requesting for them to be allowed to spend more, meaning there is a lot of space in that area. Look, for example, tourism fund, tourism promotion fund. This report indicates our tourism numbers have risen by close to 30%. But then there is nothing commensurate to show that the A&A being gotten from this enhancement in tourism, that this money is going into helping some of the problems that we have. And our advice as the committee is this: A&A must stop being the preserve of the collector. This is public money. Whether you call it sports fund, whether you call it tourism promotion fund, whether you call it tourism fund, these are Kenyans' money. Because then we have seen some kind of empire building, where because you have collected A&A, you want to look for expenditure to utilize that A&A. Treasury must initiate at this process, taking care of the current situation you are in. You must initiate changes in law. I know it's our work, but also you know what to do as the National Treasury. We open up the fund of tourism. We open up a sports fund. We open up all the other funds, including the one for CA, that this money cannot continue to be constrained to be used for specific purposes. SOEs is the same. The only detail we have as a committee is transfer to this agency. But the truth of the matter is that PS, and you know, civil servants in Kenya are not the problem when it comes to recurrent expenditure. The problem is neither the people seated in this hall. They could be, but they are a little problem. The bigger problem is SOEs, state-owned enterprises and parastatus. We must find a way of getting the fresh out. Just the same way everyone has gotten a haircut, it cannot continue being that the budget making process, so to say, of Kenya Pipeline, of Kenya Post Authority, of all the other cash-rich agencies, that the board, that it stops with the board. It cannot continue to be like that. And I want you to check something called IRA, Insurance Regulatory Authority. And if it's possible, because it lies under the National Treasury, tell us how much is the money an employee per, I mean, how much money is allocated per employee in that agency, for example. How much surplus do they remit to the National Treasury? So that we continue now providing a solution to the lack of money by first of all taking the money that is low-lying fruit. Second thing is I want you to tell this committee also, PS, whether we are within the constitutional threshold when it comes to development expenditure and the entire budget. What it is provided in the law, whether we are within. The other thing is public participation projects. As the National Treasury, you are aware, that is usually non-negotiable. Because Kenyans have already proposed these projects. They are waiting for them. and therefore the haircut of 1.5 billion cannot be permitted. And therefore, before you leave, please identify for us whether we are cutting from the National Treasury or whichever other place, because this money has to be availed today. And lastly, taxes. If you have this, you can give us an answer. Kenya, I have said before, most of our activities are informal. How many Kenyans pay taxes? Vis-a-vis, so if you have the number, how many Kenyans are working? What is the working population in Kenya? And number two, how many of those pay taxes? Let me go to Honorable Vice Chair first.